All right, welcome. Today we're diving into a really fascinating, kind of deep idea from our source text. It's all about something called clearing the life channel. And believe it or not, this whole big idea, it all kicks off with a super simple question.
So, let me ask you this. Think about pretty much any tool. A cup, a bowl, even a room in your house. When is that thing actually the most useful? It sounds like a trick question, maybe, but the answer is the key to everything we're about to unpack.
You know, the ancient philosopher Lao Tzu nailed it with this little paradox. Think about it. What makes a cup useful? It's not the clay it's made from, right? It's the empty space inside it. What makes a room useful isn't the walls themselves, but the empty space between them. So the usefulness, the utility, it comes from the not having, from the emptiness. And this pipe is the perfect way to picture it. A pipe's whole job is to let stuff flow through it. When it's clear, when it's empty, it's doing its job perfectly. But the second it gets clogged up with junk, the flow stops. It becomes totally useless. Its real value is in that clear, unobstructed channel. Okay, so here's the big jump. The source material we're looking at today says that our lives, your life, my life, are just like that pipe. We're basically a channel for something to flow through. And how well we do, how dynamic we are, even our destiny, it all depends on how clear we keep that channel. So what is this life channel exactly? Well, our source calls it the very essence of our being. And to keep it simple, it says you can use the words life, soul, and consciousness pretty much interchangeably. Just think of it as the main pipeline of your existence. Which, of course, brings us to the most important question of all. If our lives are these channels, what's the gunk that's clogging them up? The answer the source gives is, well, it's pretty surprising and honestly a little challenging. So let's break it down. Okay, first up, personal attachments. Now, look at what's on this list. It's not just the stuff you'd expect, like anger or fear. It's also joy. It's possessions, it's status. The very things most of us are chasing our whole lives. According to this text, that's the first kind of clutter.
And it doesn't stop there. The next source of clutter, societal constructs. And again, just look at this. We're talking about morality, justice, family, country, religion. These are the absolute pillars of our society, the things that give our lives structure and meaning. And yet, the source says, they can also clog the channel.
And now, for the most radical idea of them all, the third source of clutter is our own mind, our beliefs, our goals, even our sense of purpose. And then there's the real shocker, our knowledge. Everything you've ever learned, everything you've ever experienced. The source claims that can just become another piece of debris blocking the flow. And what's wild is that this isn't just some ancient, abstract idea. It gets echoed by one of the greatest minds in modern history. Einstein himself said that his formal education, all that accumulated knowledge, was actually what sometimes got in the way of his real creative thinking. So here's why this all matters. The author isn't just playing around with philosophy here. They're making a huge claim about our destiny. The state of our channel, whether it's clear or clogged, is said to basically determine the entire path our life takes. The source lays out two possible paths. The heaven-bound life, where the channel is clear and unobstructed. Life is dynamic, it's free, it just flows. And then there's the hell-bound life, where the channel is choked with all that clutter we just talked about. That life becomes rigid, full of sorrow, a constant struggle. So if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, the author suggests the answer isn't new at all. In fact, it's been taught for thousands of years by three of the most influential spiritual teachers in history.
So let's look at this path to clarity. You've got Lao Tzu, who taught emptiness, telling people to get back to the pure, uncluttered state of a baby. You've got Buddha, who taught about the void and having a mind with no attachments to anything. And then you have Jesus, who told his followers they must become like little children. Three totally different traditions, all pointing to the exact same wisdom. You have to empty the channel.
So really, the whole takeaway here is this powerful, kind of backward idea. The more we fill our lives up with things, even good things like knowledge and virtues, the more rigid and stuck we can actually become. According to the source, real freedom isn't about getting more stuff. It's about clearing out the space inside. And that leaves us with one last, very personal question to think about. If your life is a channel, what's the clutter that might be blocking your flow? What are the beliefs, the attachments, the ideas you're holding on to? Something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.